Hello and good morning friends, welcome to CEC-UGC live lecture. Dear friends, as you know that we are carrying the series on design, and this is the last lecture on the series. Though we will try that in future also, we would be able to carry such more lectures for you. In previous sessions, we discussed about various elements of designs, principles of designs, as well as the various color schemes which are helpful in making a design perfect and very lively. But today friends, today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, and the topic is floor decoration. We are going to understand how Indian regional, traditional and contemporary arts are used for floor decoration. And for this we have again with us in our studios Dr. Nilima Asthana. She is Assistant Professor in Lady Irwin College, Delhi University. So first of all, I would like to welcome our guest Dr. Nilima Asthana, and I hope that as well as believe that this lecture is going to be very interesting for you, because most of you in your day-to-day life, at your home or at your workplace, try to think about how your floor could look beautiful. So first of all, I would like to welcome our guest, and as said that this lecture is going to be very interesting. So welcome ma'am, welcome to the EDISEC lecture.
Thank you. So today, in continuation of the previous lecture, it is again something related to art and design, and it is bit historical, and I will tell you about the historical aspect of it, and then I will specifically tell you something about floor decoration, and that is very much common these days, and people love to do their to decorate their floor. But there is art behind it, there is history behind it, and there are certain specificities behind it. So I am going to start with my lecture, that is Indian regional, traditional and contemporary arts floor decoration. So what is culture and tradition of India? Max Muller has very rightly said that if I were asked under what sky the human mind has most fully developed, some of its choicest gifts has most deeply pondered on the greatest problems of life and has found solutions, I should point to India. And that is very much true, that because our country is culturally very rich, because it has undergone so many different kinds of culture and traditions and customs and rulers. So I will start with my basic idea behind any art and decoration. So folk art of India. India has inherited a pre-Aryan culture which is reflected in the folk art. Different religious sects and beliefs have coexisted throughout Indian traditional life. Cults like Tantra, Shakti, Vaishnav, Buddhist are very important in the life of folk artists, and we all know that India is a very much diverse country. So many different people following different faiths, different cultures, different religion, different traditions live in India, and it gives a very good combination of all those arts. The rural society's need for art and craft objects are supplied by the local artists and craftsmen, which are mainly of three types, and these three are ritualistic, utilitarian and individualistic. And the tradition and craft and this art is very much deep in our roots, and most of the rural people are involved in some kind of tradition and art. We live in metro cities and try to follow art of different culture, because our society is becoming more and more multicultural these days in metro cities. So we try to imbibe all those things. So first of all, the ritualistic people, who are which type of people they are and which type of art they follow. So ritualistic is influenced by the rituals of the religion. These are used in religious functions, festivals, etc. In few of parts of the country, these become the essential component of the activity. There are many kinds of ritualistic folk art like Patachitra, Pichoi, Alpana, Kolam, etc. So, ritualistic means when we follow certain religious activity in our customs and traditions, in celebrating the festival, in celebrating the marriage, in performing the various other religious activity in any of the religions. So, these art are basically to perform or to show the religious attitude and activities of an individual. You can see the photo of picture of Kalan Kolam. It is a dance in South India and it is performed during festivals. Then this is again art form. It is Kalar Payatu, and this folk art is like Thayam, and this is again a very specific dance of South India, and it usually it is performed in some religious and religious activity as well as in marriages. Patachitra, we celebrate certain folk and religion through these chitra, and these are painted on walls and on canvas also. Again you can see Shiv in this specific art, and it is Patachitra on walls actually. Bhagwati Kolam, a very large rangoli is being made by an artist to perform certain religious activity. Alpana, traditionally from Bihar, and again this is made on auspicious functions like marriage, Upnayan, festival, etc. Then second type of artists or art form, folk art form, is utilitarian. As the name suggests, people try to earn some, they try to earn money through this art, and these are made by rural artists without any formal training. Most of these designs are repeated by generation after generation. For example, there are hardly any change in the motif of terracotta toys, though those were also made in Harappa 5000 years before. So, utilitarian, as name suggests, it gives the utility, it gives them some kind of earning also, and the artisans do not get any formal training, because formal training are required and essential these days to make the art or make the product commercial, but they do not take any formal training and they follow the same art from generation to generation. And you can find this in terracotta or in certain paintings, certain fabric. If it is not improvised, then it is utilitarian. You can see the terracotta on wall. These are the terracotta objects. Now the individualistic. Some folk artists attempt to experiment with new forms from time to time and create an individualistic type of folk art. So, they try to change the design over the period of time. For example, Kantha. Kantha is a very simple stitch, a back stitch, and it was started to prepare a fabric or prepare the bed sheet for the child. Now it has become so much in demand, it is now so much in demand that people love to wear the fabric having this kantha stitch, and every time we get something new and very much costly. These innovations are to be found in the motif of Madhubani painting, kantha design and Kalighat. Decorative wood carving, embroidery, basket work, earthenware, etc. are among the typical utilitarian and individualistic folk art. Actually individualistic because an individual tries to change or improvise the basic product, and every time they try new design, new thread, new color, new fabric. Likewise, if they are making something from something like earthen pottery, they try to make it more interesting. They try to paint it. They try to decorate it, as we come to know from design lecture. Decorative design means when we try to decorate the basic structure. So it is the quality, or you can say characteristic of individualistic art form, and you will find this individualistic art form whether it is in painting or jewelry or embroidery or textile, anywhere we get new kind of things, and it is also more important from commercial point of view because we want to make them more dependent, more independent. And likewise government brings so many schemes for them. For example, they give them new technology, they provide them assistance to understand new technology, they provide them the platform to sell their own products. You will find certain places where only products of these artists are sold, and they give discounts also, but their efforts are, you can say, is worth it is we cannot count the worth of that. These are the Kutch puppets, very rare but very much interesting, attractive. They prepare these puppet to perform the puppet show, and these puppet shows are very common in Rajasthan, Gujarat, and for that they prepare different kinds of puppets, and they perform puppet show very meticulously, professionally, and people enjoy these kind of shows, and they earn money through these kinds of shows also. And if we do not promote them, we will certainly lose these kind of arts. So it is important for them to get promotion, and as in some way or other we should try to contribute in their this kind of work. Sari, you can see saris, silk sari, and different kind of colors, weaves, designs are used to make a sari, and you can see in this sari a kind of traditional art is there. And in India you will find saris from of specific characteristics from different regions, and it is important to promote those artists. For example, this is a silk sari, but Chanderi, a very important and good business of Madhya Pradesh. So the people, they get training to in terms of the type of dye they should use, the type of fabric they should use, the type of finishes they should use to make those world class, and people buy these kind of stuff a lot and they appreciate it a lot. So it is important for the people and for the government also to promote these kind of activities by giving them the right kind of training, the right kind of material and the right kind of promotion. We should try to protect the people from the middleman, because they do not get the money of their effort and talent. These are paper mache boxes, and it is very the work is very common in regions like Jammu and Kashmir. People make so many interesting and beautiful paper mache objects. These are the boxes. You can find plates, bells, and wall hangings, and so many other things interesting. And these these kind of art require a lot of effort, and we should appreciate that. At times we go to buy these things and we always try to bargain them, but it is not good for them. We should try to give the actual amount, and because these are the things which are very, very rare. These are the things which are very, very much specific to our nation. This is the cane product in Northeast, and look at the basket, how beautiful is this. You will find, you can find cane furniture, cane utensils, so many different articles made by cane, and these canes are so durable. And these are the Kashmiri work. This is the Kashmiri work, Bhuta on Kashmiri shawl. Look at the intricacy of the Bhuta, and it really requires a lot of effort, and so many days are required to make a shawl. So pottery of Odisha. This is I have shown this. These are the raw potteries, and they require to be baked, and decoration is also required. But look at the condition of the people, how they manage to survive these kind of environments. So it is important to promote this kind of art. So these are the improvised terracotta pottery, you can say. Now the kantha. I started with kantha, and look at the design. I think it is a scene of a doli, and you will find these kind of designs in kantha work, and it is a specific work which is carried in West Bengal, and they do it on sarees, bed covers, dupatta, suits. They prepare so many things, and it is really a beautiful work. They used to do it on cotton and tussar silk, and if you can get saree from 3,000 to 50,000 rupees of this work. And usually this kantha work is done in villages of the Bengal, very much localized in Murshidabad, Shantiniketan. This is Madhubani, very old form of painting in Bihar of Madhubani. Place is Madhubani. You can see the picture, and they always try to make something very traditional on the fabric, like some wedding scene or some religious activity or some scene of the simple activity of that particular area. And people love to do this work, and they do Madhubani painting on the walls of their house also, sometimes on the floors also. So it is a very intricate kind of thing, and special kind of pens and colors are required to do Madhubani painting. This Madhubani painting is on silk, and again this kind of designs and fabrics are very much costly. So you will find Madhubani on so many different products like upholsteries, textiles, sari, suits. Then Madhubani painting are so very important, very famous. Then Madhubani cards. You can make Madhubani painting and convert it into mobile pouches or anything. So the art is very famous and very interesting. Now forms of Indian art. Indian art consists of a variety of art forms which included plastic arts. It is name is bit very much not very appropriate, but it is used. Plastic art, example pottery and sculpture art. Visual arts, example cave painting, and textile arts, example woven silk. We discussed a few, and in further slides we will discuss more. So, strong sense of design is characteristic of Indian art and can be observed in its modern and traditional forms. A little bit about history of Indian art. I am not discussing it in detail, but it is important to understand the history of Indian art, because as I will discuss with you, the floor decoration, it is not a very modern kind of concept. It is in the history of Indian art. So, the origin of Indian art can be traced back to prehistoric hominid settlements in the 3rd millennium BC. On its way to modern times, Indian art has had cultural influences, example Indus Valley, as well as religious influences such as Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism and Islam. In spite of this complex mixture of religious traditions, generally the prevailing artistic style at any time and place has been shared by the major religious group, as we discussed earlier in the ritualistic kind of art, folk form of art. The religious groups are always have always influenced the Indian art, whether it is Hinduism or Buddhism or Jainism or Islam or again the British period. So, in historic art, sculpture in stone and metal, mainly religious, has survived the Indian climate better than other media and provides most of the best remains. Many of the most important ancient finds that are not in carved stone come from surrounding. So, in the traditionally very old temples or old monuments, we will always find carved stone statue or artifacts. Early Indian art, it is 3900 BCE to 1000 CE. Rock painting is a very prominent form of Indian art. This picture shows Bhimbetka rock painting showing man riding horse. Then rock art of India includes carving, engravings and paintings. Several painted rock shelters in central India situated around the Vindhya mountain range. Of these, Bhimbetka rock shelters have been deemed as UNESCO World Heritage Site. The paintings in these sites commonly depicted scenes of the human life alongside animals and hunts with stone implements. Their style varied with region and age. The most common characteristic was a red wash made using a powdered mineral called geru, which is a form of iron oxide or hematite. So, these are the rock arts always in terms of carving, because it was easier to carve and prepare some design. Not easy, but the main activity which could be done on rock is carving, then engraving and then painting, and geru was usually used to paint this rock. These days also we use geru to color our pots, etc. The Indus Valley civilization 5000 BC to 1500 BC. Indus Valley civilization seems to have taken no interest in public large scale art, unlike many other early civilizations. A number of gold, terracotta and stone figures of girls in dancing poses reveal the presence of some forms of dance. Additionally, the terracotta figurines included cows, bears, monkeys and dogs. The anvil depicted on a majority of seals at site of the mature period has not been clearly identified. Part bull, part zebra with a majestic horn, it has been a source of speculation. Seals have been found at Mohenjo-daro depicting a figure standing on its head. This figure, sometimes known as Pashupati, has been variously identified. Sir John Marshall identified a resemblance to the Hindu god Shiva. After the end of the Indus Valley civilization, there is a surprising absence of art of any great degree of sophistication until the Buddhist era. It is thought that this partly reflects the use of perishable organic materials. Replica of Dancing Girl of Mohenjo-daro. This is the now the next is Mauryan art. And this is the Mauryan ring stone with standing goddess. It was found in northwest Pakistan, 3rd century BCE. The North Indian Maurya Empire flourished from 322 BC to 185 BC, introduced stone monumental sculpture to India, though probably drawing greatly on existing Indian traditions in wood as well as influences from ancient Persia, that is Iran. So again stone was introduced in Mauryan art. The Emperor Ashoka, who died in 232 BC, adopted Buddhism about halfway through his 40 years of reign, patronized several large stupas at key sites from the life of the Buddha. There is more from various early sites of Indian rock cut architecture. The most famous survivals are the large animals surmounting several of the pillars of Ashoka. The famous detached loin capital of Ashoka with 4 animals was adopted as the official emblem of India after independence. Small popular terracotta figurines are recovered in archaeology in a range of often vigorous of somewhat crude style. Next, the Buddhism. The major survival of Buddhist art began in the period after the Mauryans, from which good quantities of sculpture survives from some key sites such as Sanchi, Prot and Amravati. These are in stone, though clearly adopting forms developed in wood. Though these are in stones, but designs on wood have been adopted. Gradually, life-size figures were sculpted initially in deep relief, but then freestanding. Mathura was the most important center in this development, which applied to Hindu and Jain art as well as Buddhist. Buddhism developed an increasing emphasis on statues of the Buddha, which greatly influenced later Hindu and Jain religious figurative art. The Buddhist Kushan Empire spread from Central Asia to include northern India in the early century CE and briefly commissioned large statues that were portraits of the royal dynasty, a type of art that was otherwise wholly absent from the India until the Mughal miniature. And the Dashavatra temple, Devghar, is the one example of Gupta dynasty, 500 CE. This is the stone standing statue of Gautam Buddha of that period. This is the temple which I mentioned earlier. Now the Gupta art. The Gupta period is generally regarded as a classic peak of North Indian art for all the major religious groups. Although painting was evidently widespread, the surviving works are almost all religious sculpture. The period saw the emergence of the iconic carved stone deity in Hindu art as well as the Buddha figure and Jain Tirthankara figures. The two great centers of sculpture were Mathura and Gandhara, the latter the center of Greco-Buddhist art. Although the Gupta period marked the golden age of classical Hinduism, the early architecture style of Hindu temples is considered simple, consisting only of a sanctum and a porch for the worshippers. So, simplicity was there in the temples, Hindu temples. You can see the temple architecture of Gupta period. Then middle kingdom of the late medieval period 600 CE to 1300. Inscription on the pillars of Ashoka mention coexistence of the northern kingdoms with the Chola, Chera and Pandya and Tamil dynasty situated south of the Vindhya mountains. Construction of numerous temples and sculpture took place at that time. This is the temple of that time. You can see the beauty, the carving, it is away from the simplicity, quite decorative. The Tanjavur painting of that time. So, and this is the temple of Khajuraho. I am not going into detail of Khajuraho, those paintings and other things. This is the remains of a temple. You can see the structure of the stones. Early modern and colonial era. So, early modern and colonial era, we include Mughal period also. So, Mughal art of northern India pre 1600. This is a painting, it is Akbarnama, Fazl presenting Akbarnama to Akbar. It is a an example of miniature painting. So, at that time, Deccan art of South Central Asia, Charminar Mosque in Hyderabad completed in 1591. British period was till 1947. You can see the painting which was actually in that period it is influenced by that particular regime, and in this particular painting it is pre-independent Indian art, company painting by Deep Chand depicting an official of the East India Company. Contemporary art. In 1947, India became independent of British rule. A group of 6 artists, K.H. Ara, S.K. Bakre, H.A. Gede, M.F. Hussain, S.H. Raza and Francis Newton Souza founded the Bombay Progressive Artists Group in the year 1952 to establish new ways of expressing India in the post-colonial era. Though the group was dissolved in 1956, it was profoundly influential in changing the idiom of Indian art. There are so many forms of art like sculpture, different types of paintings, jewelry, temple art, folk and tribal art, etc. But we will focus our attention on the floor decoration. So, after independence, it was tried by the Archaeological Survey of India and other societies as well as UNESCO to preserve the sites, preserve the temples, preserve the sites of importance. Heritage sites are known as those are known as heritage sites. So, we are in the process of preserving those art, and it is our duty also to preserve the art and learn the art in the same manner. So, now to move further, I will discuss with you the floor decoration. Floor decoration in Hindi we call it rangoli. रंगोली हिंदी में कहें तो रंगों की जो हम रचना बनाते हैं उसको इसीलिए इसका नाम रंगोली दिया गया है. So according to the earliest description of treatise on Indian painting named Chitra Lakshana, a king and his kingdom were extremely grieved on the death of the high priest's son. Everybody along the king offered prayer to the creator of the universe, that is Lord Brahma, for giving life to the boy. Brahmaji, being moved by the prayers of these people, came and asked the king to paint a likeness of the dead body on the floor. He then put life into the portrait, thus relieved the entire kingdom from its sorrow and pain. This mythological tale is considered the scriptural evidence of the origin of this beautiful Hindu art named Rangoli. So, this is the mythological story behind the origin of Rangoli. But we do not relate Rangoli to the Hindu art. It is the art which is being followed by each and every religion and caste of our country. Another legend has it that one day God, in one of his artistic spells, extracted juice from one of the mango trees to be used as paint. He then used the paint to draw the figure of a beautiful woman. It is said that the painting of the woman was so magnificent that it put the heavenly maidens to shame. Thereafter, Rangoli became popular form of women's self-portrait. Even Chola rulers have been known to make quite extensive use of Rangoli as floor painting. It is also said that powder or sand is used for making rangoli designs, because the combination of the colors and the design fragility signifies the impermanence of life and maya. So, there are various stories, but rangoli is a very old and traditional art of our country. Rangoli, one of the most beautiful and most pleasing art forms of India. It comprised of two words, rang meaning color and avali meaning colored creepers or row of colors. Rangoli basically comprises of the art of making designs or patterns on the walls or the floor of the house using finely ground white powder along with different colors. Numerous households in the Indian subcontinent make use of rangoli designs for decorating the courtyard of their house. Maybe a marriage or festival or any religious activity, people try to make rangoli, and then some kind of chalk is also chalk पूरा जाता है जब कोई भी ऐसा काम होता है religious activity. So it is there are several names given to this art. Rangoli, also known as kolan or muggu, is a folk art from India in which patterns are created on the floor in living rooms, courtyard, as I told you earlier, and material is used as colored rice, dry flour, colored sand or flower petals. These days we used to avoid rice and flour to color the floor because it is against the ethics, because these are the eatable items and must not be used. So there are alternatives of those also. It is usually made during Diwali, Onam, Pongal and other Indian festivals. They are meant to be sacred, welcoming areas for the Hindu deities, generation to the next, keeping both the art form and the tradition alive. Traditionally, these are drawn with fingers. You will see in the video also, using flour, rice grains or colored chalk. Rangoli can be square, rectangular or circular or a mix of all three. These days you will find theme rangolis also. If we are having some kind of competition, for example, importance of girl child, so you will find, or literacy, you will find that particular theme in the rangoli. They are often symmetrical. Rangoli motifs are usually taken from nature, and it may be peacock, swan, mango, flowers and so on. Rangoli were originally done in small patterns of about 2 foot square, but now entire areas of floor can be covered in intricate designs, often produced by first drawing grid lines in light chalk. The different names which are given to rangolis in different parts of India, like in Tamil Nadu it is known as kolam, in Rajasthan mandana, in Chhattisgarh chalk purna, Alpana in West Bengal, Aripana in Bihar, chalk pujan in Uttar Pradesh, Muggu in Andhra Pradesh, Golam Kolam or Kalam in Kerala and others, Rangavali in Karnataka, Alit Kat in Kumayu and Sathya in Gujarat. Purpose of rangoli is basically decoration. It is thought to bring good luck also. Design depictions may also vary as they reflect traditions, folklore and practices that are unique to each area. It is traditionally done by women, but usually boys make very good rangolis. Generally this practice, if we conduct some kind of competitions, always boys make good rangolis and attractive rangolis, very much symmetrical and proportionate. Generally this practice is showcased during occasions such as festival, auspicious observance, marriage celebrations and other similar milestones and gatherings. And these days you would have heard the name of event management of any event. If it is marriage or party or any conference, seminar, So one of the aspect of that event is Rangoli also. So they manage the event by making rangolis, beautiful rangolis also. Rangoli designs can be simple geometrical shape, deity impressions, peacock motifs. Many of these motifs are traditional and handed down by previous generations. Flowers and petal shapes appropriate for the given celebrations. They can also be very elaborate design crafted by numerous people. Design varies as per the state. Material used, the base material as we discussed earlier also, dry or wet rice, dry flour to which sindoor, haldi and other natural colors are added. These days chemical colors are also added and they give very good color. Other materials include colored sand, sawdust and even flowers and petals as in the case of flower rangolis. Usually we avoid flower rangolis also because it is just, if somebody steps on rangoli, it doesn't look good. So if we use sandstone or sand or sawdust or sand powder, stone powder, then it will be give good effect as well as appropriate also. Sawdust is very simple to make. You can have sawdust from the carpenter and you can color that and it gives very good vibrant colors. So in different states, not just in names, the designs also vary as per the region. In Maharashtra, rangoli are drawn on the doors of the homes so that evil forces attempting to enter are repelled. During the festival of Onam in Kerala, flowers are laid down for each of the 10 days of the celebration, the design growing larger and more complex every day. In Rajasthan, the mandana are painted on walls, different shapes depending on the sides of it also can be shared. Kumaus, writing beat or in a variety of plotting symbols, thapa, artistic designs, bell buttons is used. Electup of society apart, separated by different groups, different icons and art media is used. In Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka, the columns is drawn upon the ground or floor daily. You will find the rangoli daily, new rangoli outside the house, and they make it so fast. And it is actually you can say daily schedule for them to have rangoli outside their house. The designs are geometric and symmetrical shapes, but the materials used are similar. Rice flour or slurry is used. Alpana in Bengal is a natural representation of the artistic sensibility of the people, practiced usually by the women folk of the state. The art form represents an amalgamation of the past experience as well as the contemporary designs. Even though the basic designs are more or less same, new forms and new colors are being tried on a large scale. This is on wall. Aripana in Bihar. Aripana art form is a variation of the rangoli, particularly in Bihar. It usually comprises of line drawing illustrated on the floor of the house. Aripana patterns are a part of each and every auspicious ceremony in Bihar, be it puja, vrat or a sanskar. On the eve of a ceremony, Aripana design are prepared in the courtyard, on the door front and a number of other places. Aipan is one of the traditional form of rangoli practiced in the state of Uttarakhand, now Uttaranchal. The art is associated with a great degree of social, cultural as well as religious significance. In Uttarakhand, Aipan designs are mainly drawn at places of worship along with main entry door and the front courtyard of the house. So basically rangoli is used at the place of worship or the entrance of the house. See, this is the flower rangoli, puklam, and if it is made during Diwali, we can place diyas also. Aipan of Kumaon, you can see the design made up of white color and base is red. again Ipan during Diwali. This is worldly art, very famous and used for rangolis also. Modern rangoli. If you do not have time, you can prepare the cutouts, decorate it and place it wherever you like, and if you wish you can fill up the colors in between. And these cutouts could be made by sequins, beads, stones, papers, cloth, etc. These days you can get rangoli stickers also. You can stick these stickers at the gate. So elements rangoli in India belong to any province. Rangoli's most important element is Utsdharmita. For this, auspicious symbols are selected, and some major symbols used in rangoli are lotus flower, leaves, mango, fish, different kinds of birds. Oftentimes rangoli are made on special occasions like Diwali, Ganesh Puja, Lakshmi Puja, etc. The second key element using rangoli is material. We discussed that which type of rangoli material will be useful. And rangoli's third important element is background. It should be neat and clear, and it should be made on clear floor or wall. Sometime we clean it with sand and let it try to make it dry. Rangoli arts in middle corners or as bell is created around. Obviously on the at the entrance place of worship, it is prepared. With time, imagination and innovative ideas in rangoli art is also incorporated. These days tourism and hospitality industry is also having this kind of art very on a commercial basis. Colors could be, basic color is white known as chirodi. It is dyed in different colors creating an attractive multicolored design rangoli. So creation we discussed, different types of designs could be made. We can have floating rangolis also. So it could be innovative, could be made by dry and wet colors. So these slides are containing the things which we already discussed, like what are the various could be various experiments, material. For example, on Onam we used only flour. In North India, the colors based on gypsum is used. Due to rapid and widespread migration and mixing of people within India, these styles are now freely adopted and mixed. You will find different mixed type of rangoli also. It is the time of innovation, so you can innovate anything. This is the rangoli at the place of worship based on faith and belief. So now let us watch the video.
I hope that this video would be beneficial for all the students who might be watching us, because as Madam explained about how the
you can see the picture, we discuss dots and lines, so you will find how well they prepare the rangoli and so fast with dots and lines. Actually dots give them a kind of direction as well as You can see how well the lady is making the rangoli with lines. First she has put up some beads or I think it is rice, and she is making rangoli so fast around the dots. Using the flour, maybe a stone powder also. In this as dot. Looks like they are on the four corners.
We basically want to thank YouTube, from which we have taken this particular presentation. I hope that all the students who might have watched this particular Rangoli would be feeling very interested in making Rangolis in their houses. As we are running short of time, I would only like to ask you, ma'am, these Rangolis could be played in the different ways with the different products altogether.
Yeah.
So can we make these rangolis with the homemade products?
Yeah, you can. Homemade means actually we just do not encourage the use of eatables, but you can always make good colors at home. For example, stone powder or sawdust powder, as I discussed with you. And flowers, again, it is not very much advisable to use flowers on floor. So you can have those kind of material, and these days you have marble pieces, and you can color those marble pieces and use the marble pieces also. It gives very attractive look.
Definitely, as madam said, that you can try these rangolis at your home, especially at the floors of your houses, and especially during the period of festive season, when you make such rangolis, it attracts all the guests at your place, as well as it gives you a very good feeling. With this note, we would like to take your leave, and I hope that in future also we will be conducting such lectures, and with the help of these lectures we are basically inspire you so that you can make your surroundings beautiful. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so very much for being the part of EduSet lecture.